All right, 13.2 measures of dispersion. Dispersion is the degree to which the data is spread out. So we talked about last class, having a set of data values, and which we found the mean, mode, median of them. So now we're looking at the dispersion of that data. First thing that they mention is the range. As far as calculation is concerned, your range is the largest data value minus the smallest data value. And so we have the data set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll take the largest data value, which is 5, and minus the first data value, or the smallest data value, which is 1, and that'll be 4. All right, here, the standard deviation measures how far a data value is from the mean. Don't forget the mean is another word for average. Then your variance is the standard deviation squared, and it's just another way to measure the spread of data. All right. Notation. X is going to represent our data value. Then we have Greek letter mu, which is your population mean, population average. Lowercase sigma is your population standard deviation. Lowercase sigma squared is your population variance. So don't forget your variance is your standard deviation squared. Then capital N is your population size. So capital sigma over here, which some of you may have seen before, the sigmas. But capital sigma means summation or adding all your data values. And then here we have X bar, which is your sample mean. S is your sample standard deviation, S squared, sample variance. And then N is your sample size, lowercase n is your sample size. So what happens in statistics is that you can have the population, or you can have your sample. Population is your is everything. In other words, Nova State student body could be the population of your students, and then this classroom represents a sample of that student body. So when you have a population, a large amount of data set, if you take a sample or a little bit out of that data, then that would be your sample size, or that would be your sample. So just like if you were going in the store and they gave you a sample of some food, they gave you a piece of the food. So that's the same thing. All right. So you have your population, and then a part of that population would be your sample. So in statistics, you have notation for when you're dealing with population versus when you're dealing with the sample, and you can just see the notation and know that you're dealing with population and sample, or vice versa. All right. Next part, you want to find an app calculator website or something of that nature that will calculate the standard deviation and the variance. One that I know works and that I use whenever I need it is easycalculation.com. So I'm not holding you accountable for being able to calculate the standard deviation and variance by hand. If you were math majors, then I would, but you're not, so you are good. If you were in the workplace, you wouldn't do it by hand anyway. You would have a program or something with your Excel that would calculate it for you. So that's all I'm asking you to do is find something that's reliable or dependable that will calculate these things for you. And I'll show you how you can easily do so in a second. I'm not asking you to spend any more money. There's a whole bunch of free stuff out there that you can use. So it's not about the calculation of these two things, but the application, which is what we'll get into soon. All right. So find the standard deviation and variance. If we have 2, 4, 7, 12, and 15. So let me share this screen. All right. All I would do is type in standard deviation calculator. And you see a whole bunch of stuff will pop up, different things that you can use. And like I mentioned before, I like to use easy calculation though. So I'll do standard deviation calculator, easy calculation. Easy calculation pops up. Just make sure that whatever you use, you follow the directions that they give you. We have 2, 4, 7, 12, 15. So this one says separate by a comma. So 2, 4, 7, 12, 15. And hit calculate. And there you go. So here it gives you the standard deviation and variance, and then population standard deviation and variance. So if they call it these two back here, the population, that means these two that they gave initially are your sample. So standard deviation, sample, variance. Before I go back to the notes, questions about that. If you are doing more than typing in the data values and hitting enter, then you're doing too much. You want to find something simple. If you have to put in a value, store it in a place, and then go to another thing, store it here, write this program. If you're doing all that type of stuff, then really you're doing too much. There's a whole bunch of free stuff out here when all you have to do is type in the data value and hit enter, like I just did. Questions before I go back to the notes? All right, let me make sure. I think that was it for that section. All right. So yeah, that is it for that section. So in 13.3 and 4 as well, we will actually use standard deviation, and variance to with application purposes. So we'll do that on next class. Questions on anything that I've said so far? Everybody straight. All right. So it is important that you guys, if you are having trouble, to get with me or get with somebody. I guess you don't have to get with me, of course. But I want to make sure you guys are successful or you are getting the desired grade. Um, that are getting the grade that you desire. Also, keep in mind as well the best way to handle any session that you have with me is that you already come with things that you want to talk about, um, in hand. So in other words, you went through. Let's say our first chapter was chapter 7. So I know Miss Wilson was talking about meeting with me. So I would hope that or I would ask that you at least go into the first sections, look at problems that you know that you want to see me do. That would probably be the easiest way to maximize our time. So, you would go into, let's say 7.1. I'm not saying I haven't looked at Miss Wilson's stuff, so I'm not saying she's back there or anything. I don't know. I'm just talking in general. You would go into 7.1, say, all right, let me try this. I can't do this, or I just want to see how he would do this. So, come with problems that you know you want to see me, and then that will help maximize our time. And I'll email you later after my class. Okay, sounds good. Yep. Um, I hadn't seen her email because she said she did it last night. I haven't checked my stuff, but I normally, checking the emails. So whenever you email me, I most definitely will get to it within a day. Normally anyway. So yep. So guys, just email me. I want to make sure you guys are successful, and whatever successful is to you, whether it's a C, B, or A, I want to help you to get it if I can. That's why I didn't. If you notice, your tests have been, set up the way that they've been set up. Um, and the main proctoring test that we're looking for is that final, which of course we can't really flex on that. But that's why I've been trying to be flexible with the due dates and and all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to do what I can to adjust to the weird situation that we're living with. So any questions or concerns before we close out today? I think we're right straight. All right, so um, try to sell stuff out. See if you get stuck. You have any questions? All right. Oh yeah, most definitely. It's no problem at all. Not a problem at all. Um, um, what I was gonna say, but yeah, have a great weekend. Be safe. Keep in mind, as after we cover out 13.3 and 13.4, all we will be doing is answering questions. So that same process that I mentioned about coming to office hours with problems, after we cover 13.4, that's all class will be really, is you bringing questions. Other than that, I mean, I'll just be looking at you and you'll be looking at me. I mean, so, after we knock out 13.4, really you will have the opportunity to just come to regular class time with your questions. So, like I said, after we cover that, you may not even have to set up a Zoom session. You can just come to class. And that's and really class has been like that anyway, just that not too many people has really been taking that, excuse me, taking advantage of that. If you guys had questions, I most definitely would have been open to answer them. That's kind of why we kind of moved or knocked out everything so quickly because no one really has questions. But I do understand as well in a classroom setting, face to face, it would have been more comfortable and more for you guys to ask questions. So I understand what's going on. So just throwing it out there, don't think I don't understand. Even if other instructors may not understand, I do know that this is a weird time for everybody. All right. So have a great weekend. Be safe. I will see you on Tuesday. Yep, Tuesday. Take care. You stay blessed as well. And I'll see you on Tuesday. All right. You do the same.